Shalom, I am Dr. Ann Davis with Bible Interact, and today I'd like to share with you some thoughts on Daniel in the blazing furnace. We first meet Gibburim in the creation account, where they are identified as mighty warriors for Satan. Now, in the story of Daniel's three friends who were thrown into a blazing furnace, the English translation, men, it doesn't tell you what the word is. The three friends of Nebuchadnezzar's warriors are identified as Gibburim. Those are really powerful and mighty warriors that are used of the remnant. So in this story, Nebuchadnezzar represents Satan, and his soldiers are the soldiers of Satan. Nebuchadnezzar, in rage and anger, gave orders to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then these men were brought before the king, but men is Gibburim. It's not just men. They're these huge, powerful, and mighty warriors, like we saw with the Nephilim. Then these men were tied up in their trousers, their coats, their caps, and their other clothes. They were cast into the midst of the furnace of blazing fire. Because the king's command was urgent and the furnace had been made extremely hot, the flame of the fire slew those Gibburim, those men, those Gibburim. They slew those men who carried up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So the fire was so hot that it burned up the soldiers. But what happened to the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? They were okay. Now this, by the way, is symbolic of the future judgment. And the fire doesn't burn people up. It's symbolic of refining so that all that's impure goes away and what's left pure is perfect, just like the three friends in the blazing furnace. These three men, Gibburim, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell into the midst of the furnace of blazing fire, still tied up. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astounded and stood up in haste. He said to his high officials, "Wait a minute, wasn't it three Gibburim that we cast bound into the midst of the fire?" And of course, there's a fourth one there, and that fourth one, according to Christian tradition, represents the Messiah. They replied to the king, "Certainly, O king." But Nebuchadnezzar said, wait a minute, I see four men loosed and walking about in the midst of the fire without harm. And the appearance of the fourth is like a son of the gods. And the four men are all Gibburim, all right? This is repeated over and over and over again, both for Nebuchadnezzar's soldiers and for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and then this fourth person who apparently is the Messiah. Now, what's our conclusion? The Hebrew word gever means very powerful and mighty, and when you turn it into a noun, it's the Gibburim, the very, very powerful and mighty ones. We first meet Gibburim, mighty warriors, in the creation account. They are identified as mighty warriors for Satan. In the story of Daniel's three friends, who were thrown into a blazing furnace, the English translation, men, is woefully misleading. Both Daniel's three friends and Nebuchadnezzar's warriors are all identified as Gibburim. Thus we see two mighty armies, one serving God and the other fighting for Satan.